All right. Hello, everyone. Good to see you. Paul Training here. I'm going to dive into some new features in Illustrator on the desktop. I'm actually going to start out on the iPad because they are related, but it's going to be a lot of fun. So hopefully you guys are into it, and I appreciate you guys hanging out with me today on this lovely Thursday. So let's just dive into this. Feel free to say hello. I see you over there. Antonis, Michelle, hello, Mahmood as well. Feel free to say hello in chat, and I'll keep an eye out for your name, and I'm just glad you guys are here. So this is cool. Let's go ahead and dive right in. I'm going to share my screen, starting out on a low iPad battery, as it turns out, but let's get over there really fast. There it is. There it is. Let's get in there. All right. Here we are. Cool. Welcome, everybody. So feel free to ask questions. I'll keep an eye on chat. I'll do my best. Good to see you, Steven Drager. Good to see ya. Norway is in the house with Inger. So here's just some stuff I was working on, by the way. This is Illustrator on the iPad. I know I said desktop, but we'll start out on Illustrator on the iPad. We can kind of jump in, and we could have something like, you know, make a fun national parks logo, which is kind of what I'm working on. Take something like this. Let's take this little hummingbird right here, and this has been a hot feature on the cool. Looks like we take that and we can go ahead and just hit radial, and now we went ahead and made a radial repeat of this lovely hummingbird, as we can see. So this is pretty darn awesome, right? It's pretty cool. Kind of take this around any way we want. We can increase the number of lovely little hummingbirds here, right? We can maybe only have it go halfway around if we want, but this is a radial repeat, giving me that flexibility that I've actually come to expect at this point, right? Super fun to play with, as we can see. So again, I'm in Illustrator on the iPad. I can go ahead and do that. I can make one, by the way. Let's go ahead and just grab a couple things over here. Let's take these two. Let's shrink them down. We will make this maybe a grid repeat pattern, right? So that's what I'm doing right now. This is grid repeat. I have some other stuff over here that I can kind of get rid of. But from here, you can see this grid repeat. We can jump in and always jump in and edit this accordingly. As you can see, kind of move that around like so. And we can always sort of change or tighten up those columns and the rows. Okay, so this is on the iPad. Hello, world. Lizendra. Hello. Prince Jassim Ahmed Hidroy. Hello from Bangladesh. So this is pretty cool. I can still play with this some more, by the way. I get it. I need to tweak this like a lot more to just make it look cooler, to be honest with you. But what I want to do is I actually want to get on the desktop, because before what would happen is you would actually push this to the desktop, and all you really have to do is save, by the way. And I got to get rid of this. Close that. All right, so it's called Radial 1. That's what that is called. So typically when we jump to our desktop, it would ungroup all those, or excuse me, it would have them grouped, but it would no longer be a radial repeat, mirror repeat, or sort of tile repeat. But here I am on the desktop, and if we take a look now, boom, boom, here we are, zoop. Here's my one file that was just on the iPad. Now I'm on the desktop. I'll double click. We'll open that up, right? So to answer your question, Tia, these features are now on the desktop. So that's the exciting thing, because what it would say before, it would say, hey, you know what? You have to ungroup this, or it wouldn't ungroup it. It would break it apart. It would no longer be a repeat object. It would just be a grouped shape is what it was. But now, as you can see, it's like, oh, here I am on the desktop. I can jump in, sort of expand, move this around, right? And now on the desktop, we have control over this radial, over the grid, over the mirror, as I kind of twirl that around like so. Okay. Notice we have those same features. We could say, hey, you know what? Let's just go ahead and have it go halfway around the circle if we want to, right? Increase the number of the birds, right? Decrease the number of the birds. You guys get the idea. But the cool thing is we have control over it when it comes in. But we could also have some more fun with this as well. Let's get rid of this because we can, say, take this flower, for instance. Zoop, zoop. There it is. A lovely flower. Right? Maybe we'll shrink it down. Maybe it actually is something else. Sorry, the designer is getting in me, is getting the best of me. So let's paste this in. Not quite the same in terms of style. I would probably take this and outline it. Something like that. Anyway, so here's this element. Let's take it and we want to do the same thing. So going right up here to object, down here to repeat, and these are the new features. Radial, grid, and mirror. Everything I just did on the iPad, I can now do on the desktop. So, Antonis, to answer your question, the file is a cloud document. So once I'm done on the iPad, I just close it, then I go to my desktop, and then I have access to that same file, and I can manipulate it all I want, okay? You're typically not working on your iPad as well as on your desktop at the same time. But anyways, we'll hit radial, boom, right there. Sure enough, here's our radial repeat. We'll put this over the top, stretch it out, move it down, do what we want to in this particular situation as I start to play with it. Right, let's give it more of an angle. Let's increase the number of them, right? Let's send it to the back. It's everything we're used to, right? And now we have something colorful and amazing that could potentially be used for a logo that I'm making in this case. So here we go, right in here, boom, just so you know, and thank you, I think that's a compliment, Renan. But right in here, we can go to apps. Just make sure Illustrator is up to date. So this is available for you today. So when you change things, when you transform the radius, like the file is a synced cloud document, but this isn't live editing on the desktop and iPad, just so we're clear. By the way, I could always jump in and decide that, hey, maybe I don't like this stroke or whatever the case may be. I could turn it off, right? And of course, it's gonna change it everywhere as we can see, and then we have that as a unique background. So you have access to that original shape. You guys get the idea. Tia's life is changed forever, hopefully in a good way, right? Because this is a lot of fun, right? Let's say, for instance, I am actually making, so this is actually what I would do, by the way, if I was actually going to just like create something. This is what we'd have to do before. It's like, okay, I'm working on this sort of nature theme. Here is my, we'll just hit this. Here's just a lovely little flower, like so. Let's make that black. Right, and what would you typically do? Let's do this really quick. Let's take a rectangle tool, draw out a rectangle, right? Take this, bam, go like that. Maybe select both these points, opposite ends, and then I'm just kind of conforming that and bringing that in, and basically I'm making a lovely little petal is what I'm doing. Oops, don't make that. Like that, do that. So here's this lovely little petal. I can still work on the colors, I get it. Probably want to even make that black or something. Maybe not. But I could take this and do something that you'd usually do the step and repeat. You don't need to do step and repeat anymore. You can if you want to, because that's what we would do is we would use the rotate tool. I would show this all the time. I'd hold down the option key, click in the center, and you would go ahead and be able to copy it, say 45 degrees, right? So you just hit copy and then Command D, da 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 da. You could still do that. That still makes a flower, but the problem is these are individual shapes. So if I decide to change the color, it's like, oh, I want to change them all to this new blue color. And again, they're separate objects. So that doesn't work for my needs. That's why I love the radial repeat. Selecting that object, repeat, radial, right? Puts it right in the center, and we can jump in and change the color of this to whatever we want, as you can see, right? Cool. And also we could change the shape, because right up here for this top point, yeah, let's just go ahead and curve that in a little bit. I don't know. That's not bad. Cool. Step and repeat is so 1990, right? And you might even be smarter because you'd be like, "Hey, Paul, I know we could do even more than that." Because some people will still use paste, and you could still use it. This stuff is awesome, and everything has its place. Distort and transform. You have transform in here, right? That's another way of doing things. Is you can transform something. You can make 18 copies, right? And we'll rotate it based on the bottom point 45 degrees, right? So I just made this based on, made this element, right? Using the transform effect, right? So we could do that, say 55. It's going to be off, but that's one way of kind of doing the same repeat element using an effect, okay? But again, now we have this way of doing things as well, which is using the radial repeat and grid repeat and all that fun stuff. Okay, yeah, Mike, just so you know, the only key I've used is Option, so I think it would be Alt on a PC. So just hold down the Alt key when you, if you wanted to do a step and repeat, is what that would be. So, what's up, Robert Orr in the house? Good to see you, buddy. Yeah. He's my friend. How you doing, Robert? Good to see you. Bobby Orr in the house. St. Yannick, awesome. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing right here. We could turn this again into a pattern. We can start to even think about like mirroring something. Because maybe what I want to do is I want to create a tulip. So let's do that really fast. Actually, no, let's do this right now. Let's just take this random shape. Let's take this. Let's jump right in here. We will do the repeat, mirror, repeat. And now we have this perfect mirror of this object, right? Oops. Couple different things we could do. We can move this around like so, okay, and we could rotate it so we can have it mirror top to bottom if we want to. So this might be good for maybe if you're making a shadow or something. You could actually have your element on the top and the shadow below, right? In this case, I was going to make like a tulip, so let's just bring this back up to the top, rotate that into place. Like so, bear with me, folks. There's a number of ways to do this. Let's just cut this point. Let's take these two. Let's actually take this one. Let's round it like that. We'll take this. We'll rotate it up like so. Bring it together like so, right? And now we have sort of this shape that we can work with. Boom, boom, boom. Let's just even use the pen tool. Hey, why not? Let's come down here, click, 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 right, like that. Bring that in, right down in there, bam. And we could always send that to the back, right? So Shift Command, open curly bracket, just kind of send that to the back like so. We can always add a stem right in here, drawing that over like so, and making sure that is some sort of green like that. You guys get the idea. Okay, and this is not the 2002 version or 202 version. It is the 2020 version. So you can go in here. Pardon me. Illustrator. Just update your Illustrator if you have Creative Cloud. So it is the 2020 version. You can go to learn more, right? And you're going to get all these key features, and you guys get the idea. By the way, you could always update this, so we can go to other versions. So this is the version that I have. Technically, it's 25.1, right? And older versions are 25.01. There's 24 before that. You guys get the idea. But the 2020 version is the 25 number. You guys get the idea. All right, cool, cool. Take this. Let's round it some more. It needs help. I get it. Right, Shift C, click, make that a little sharper, bring that in a little bit more, right? I'm just kind of playing with this now. I hope you guys don't mind, but you guys get the idea. Yeah, that's okay. Back out, and yeah, that's basically what I wanted to show you. And keep in mind, even as we go over here, remember, we made this earlier, but if I select this object right here, what is this? This is using that same repeat object. I can do that again on my desktop. All right, let's go over down to these guys. Let's take all these lovely flowers. All right. We have these flowers here. I can actually turn it into a pattern, but now we have, you can make this a pattern or you can make it a grid repeat. So it's kind of like two different, I hope that's, am I right? Oh, you're right. This version is 2021. Sorry, 25.1. I'm sorry. I guess I had that wrong. 2021 version. I don't know. It's weird because it doesn't actually say, and it's more of a marketing thing. Repeat grid. So I'll just show you how this works because you know how to make a pattern. It repeated all of these. They look fantastic. Let's go ahead and hide those artboards. We can see this lovely pattern right up here, right? And the cool thing is we can actually change. Let me actually change this to maybe a medium blue so we can see these lines a little bit better. But I'll go in here. I'll select this. I will sort of tighten it up by clicking and dragging to the right. We'll tighten up the rows as well. So we've tightened up the rows and the columns, right? And it's actually kind of highlighting these elements off to the side, and that is actually, those are just some of the vector assets. But I can again go back in here, double click, select this flower if I want to, this little group, move it down, right? Just like you would if you're making a pattern. There we go. Cool. Cool. All right, everybody. Can you please suggest how we can install the 2021 version? All you have to do is, hopefully you're a Creative Cloud member, which I just launched it again. Just go to updates if you already have it installed. Otherwise, it should be all apps. Or you can go, just basically search for Illustrator. But it's going to be under graphic design. It's also going to be under illustration, just so you know. But you install it from your Creative Cloud desktop app, just so you know. All right, cool, everybody. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. That's all I have for you. These different radial, grid, and mirror options. And I'll leave you with this, though, just to think about. You could nest these together. So I could take this radial repeat. So the flower I made earlier, I can take that radial repeat and then put it inside of a grid repeat. And now we have a petal that's being repeated via radial, and then the flower that's being repeated via grid, okay? So just keep that in mind, and click right there, and all of a sudden, we have a ton of wreaths as well that are made. Let's close that. Cool, everyone. I got a lot going on. Thanks so much for watching. Appreciate you guys. Cool. That's about it. That's all I got for you guys. Jump in, update Illustrator, have fun, share with me what you end up creating. Would love to see it. We can see my social media handles right down here below me. So that'd be fantastic. Cool. Have a good day, everybody. Be kind to one another, right? Get your exercise. Maybe get some sleep, huh? Turn off the phone. Just get a good night's rest. That'll solve most of the world's problems. Is a nap. All right, everybody. Have a good one. We'll talk to you.